Thank you all so much for being here today. We've been completely overwhelmed by the kindness and support everyone has shown, and the outpouring of love and tributes for my father has been beautiful and humbling. Abba, as most of you know, was a compelling communicator, gifted with an unparalleled command of language. Few could deliver a speech like him. Those are big shoes to fill, and this isn't exactly a good day for me. But he was always proud when I took the mic, so please bear with me and I'll do my best. One of my favorite earliest memories with my dad was going together to get our camera films developed, and the thrill of collecting our freshly printed photographs was unforgettable. He bought me my very own little camera when I was very young and showed me how to use it. He taught me everything I know about how to take a good photograph and when to take a photograph, which, if you know me or him, is all the time. It's always a good time to take a photograph. It's always a good time to capture a moment to relive it for a lifetime. Thanks to him, I have a huge wealth of captured memories to enjoy and share with loved ones, not least my daughter. Photography wasn't the only thing we had in common. He shared all his passions and hobbies with me, including music, detective shows, and our sense of humor. He really was very funny, and I shared that love of comedy and the desire to amuse people. And even when no one else was around, we enjoyed making each other laugh. Our shared interest extended to journalism, and I was forever in awe of all of his achievements and his sheer skill. The way he used the written word and the spoken word, he truly turned language into an art form. I'm at least grateful that, like all great artists, I'm fortunate that his work will live on after him in recordings, articles, books, videos, and more. Weekends growing up were almost always spent at some cultural performance or other, as my father was often called upon to host or preside over these events. I'd proudly accompany him, a loyal sidekick carrying his bag of scripts and multiple biro pens, and I'd sit there with him in the wings backstage every weekend, proud and smug as ever. This was my dad on the mic. This was my dad commanding the audience's attention, and my dad was so cool. Honestly, I was a child who idolized her father. He was so talented and so fun and so funny, and such an impressive human being. I felt lucky to be his daughter. And one of my biggest fears was ever living in a world where he wasn't there. It was a real concern for me as a child, and one I thought I was facing for real when I was very young and my father suffered a heart attack. Lucky for him and for me, he bounced back, and we went on to carry on our life's adventure of fun and good times and doing everything together. I should say at this point that there was one person who made all that possible, one person who took care of all the boring stuff, so Appa and I didn't have to. She ran our home and their law firm and everything else in between. She loved him unconditionally and supported his dreams so that he could not only follow his true passions, but also so that he could be present for me all the time. And together they made sure to give me the fullest, happiest childhood. I've been lucky to be able to spend the last few years with my family living in the same house as my father and mother. I'm most grateful to my wonderful husband for appreciating and selflessly supporting my closest with my parents as their only child. Also, I'm sure my mother's cooking helps. My father taught me a great many things that I value. He taught me how to wire up a video cassette recorder to a tape deck to record the audio. He taught me how to set my watch. He taught me to set my watch fast and to always arrive everywhere early. He taught me how to see the funny side of everything. And as a deeply religious man with an ardent belief in Hinduism, he taught me the importance of faith. But he also taught me that all roads lead to the same destination. As well as the holiest temples in the world, my parents took me to churches, mosques, gurdwaras, and insisted on a respect for all faiths and cultures as equal. And whilst I am a proud Hindu, it's a lesson I cherish and will share with my daughter, along with so much else that my father taught me. Like how to show love. The way he loved his family and his friends. The way he loved his dogs. The way he loved me and my husband, and how he adored his granddaughter. And most of all, the way he loved my mother. He loved fiercely. He loved love. And he looked for every excuse to celebrate it. Every birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, wedding anniversary, engagement anniversary, any versary was an excuse to celebrate and spoil one another and remind ourselves of the love in our lives. It's my birthday in a few days, and it's also my parents' wedding anniversary that day. So to my mother, during this impossibly painful time, I want to remind her that they say it is better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And the love that they shared, however raw or flawed, was real and beautiful and an absolute inspiration to me. I found a note recently that he wrote for her one birthday, and I want to share it with you. Long, long ago, over 50 long years ago, I saw an immaculately dressed, dazzlingly beautiful 20-year-old princess walking up the gold-painted staircase of the Sri Lanka Law College building in Holsdorf to enter the first floor lecture hall and attend her first lecture on her first day as a law student. I was amongst a group of senior law students waiting outside the lecture theatre to rag the freshers. But I realized that the princess who walked in last had also at that very moment walked into my heart. She reigns today as my queen, and the rest is history. One more thing, as Lieutenant Colombo would say. He loved Colombo. My father always talked about how he was descended from Jaffna King Sangali and was extremely proud of what he called his royal blood. Appa, you were a king among men, and your memory will continue to reign in our hearts for all of time. Thank you.